Hi, I'm Peter Farrand, Chief Food and Beverage Innovation Officer here at Smokey Bones.
And I'm Chris Sussman, otherwise known as the Barbecue Buddha from Big Green Eggs Pro Staff.
It's summertime grilling season here, and we're going to go ahead and do some grilling excellence here with Chris.
That's where I come in. We're going to talk about our favorite cuts and how you can cook them the best on your Big Green Egg. Why don't we start here at the left, Chef Peter, and talk about the differences of the ribs that we have. I believe you have some nice baby back ribs right here and some spare ribs. What's your favorite cut to cook and why?
That's awesome. So my favorite cut's actually the St. Louis rib, or kind of a center cut out of the spare rib. And I love that, kind of more of a cut from the belly, a little fattier, a little richer. It's kind of hard to pick, right? It's like your children, right? We're gonna say, what's your favorite child?
Yeah, and well, most competitions, all competitions feature the spare ribs from the belly section, as you said, more meaty flavor, more full flavor. I like baby back ribs. They take shorter time to cook, especially on a backyard grill, and the meatiness and the tenderness of those ribs, I just like the way they eat. They're great.
Awesome. We got some ribeye steaks here. I think one of the biggest things I always tell friends, family, anybody who's going out and looking for some steaks when they're in retail, is the first thing I always look for is that marbling, right? So that intermuscular fat that's in there, and fat equals flavor. So the more marbling, usually the better the steak is. Some nice even color, but really to me it's about that marbling and a little bit of age.
Yeah, and if you talk about fat as flavor and marbling, that's why ribeye is the king of the backyard summer grill season. Take a look at that decal, that fat layer between there. Most people don't know that the rib eye is this muscle here, and then the cap, or the spinalis dorsi, is the muscle on here. So you get all this extra layer of fat. And for those New York strip fans at home, that muscle runs all the way down into the loin section and the sirloin section of the cow, and that's where you get New York strips from.
All right, we've also got a pork butt out here. We were talking, why the partnership with Big Green Egg, that flexibility, all the things that you can do on that grill, low and slow, hot and fast. So at Smokey Bones, we do this overnight for about 12 hours, season it up good. So what am I looking for on this? Nice fat cover, good marbling on that as well. A lot of intermuscular fat and some tissue in there that needs that low and slow to kind of break down.
That beautiful striation that you see, that white colored, almost looks pink, is just gorgeous. And the way Smokey Bones smokes their pork butts is second to none. I had the pleasure of eating some last night and watching Chef Peter cook them. And the way they smoke, it's rotisserie style, so that fat is rendering off the butts above onto the butts below, and so all of those butts have so much flavor. It's so good.
Kind of lastly over here, we've got some jumbo chicken wings. We're really known for our smoked wings here at Smokey Bones. Got about 18 to 20 flavors, some sauces and things that we can toss them. But jumbo chicken wings, we've got drums and we've got flats in there. On this, looking for some of that nice yellow in the skin, a good indicator that chickens were fed well. But just, again, just nice, bright, clean, no discoloration in the bones. How about you?
I had the pleasure of sitting down last night at your bar with some of your staff, and they were giving me all their favorite flavor combinations. I tell you, if you're near Smokey Bones, you need to rush in there and pick between those 20 different flavor combinations and create your own. They're so good. Are you a flat or a drum person?
I'm a drum guy.
Yeah?
I like, for me, they kind of ease of eating and just spin that drum around and clean it off.
You're not the guy that pushes the flat down and gets that little lollipop bite like you see on all the Instagram stuff?
You know what? I like the flat. I think it eats good, but to me, it's just a little more work.
Yeah, I go straight down the middle. I don't want to alienate one side of my audience against the next. I'll eat whatever kind of wing you put in front of me.
You want to get out there and get it done?
Yeah, let's season some of this stuff up and go out and cook some summertime grill action.
Sounds great.
All right, people, I'm coming in strong with the surf component of this competition with these beautiful mahi-mahi fillets. When you're looking for a single serving of mahi-mahi or any fish for you and your family at home, look for about an 1/8 ounce an 8-ounce piece of fish. That's the perfect size for the grill. These mahi fillets are beautifully cut, nice color, firm. You want it to be firm. Firm fish is the best for the grill. Now, a great tip is I like to salt and pepper only for this dish because all the flavor in the seasoning is going to come from this beautiful charred scallion salsa that I'm going to top on top of this fish. So I'm just coming in with kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper. And then here's a great summer grilling tip, or any grilling tip. If you're grilling in the winter, I love you. So what you want to do is you want to oil your protein, in this case the fish. Most people oil the grill. By the time the oil hits the grill grates, it'll evaporate off. It doesn't give you any benefit. But if you heavily oil the fish or your protein before it hits the big green egg, when it hits the big green egg, it'll keep the fish from sticking to the grill grates. So go generous and heavy with this extra virgin olive oil. And I like to rub it all around. Make sure you're getting it in with that seasoning. And then here we go. For protein, I follow what's called a 4-minute rule. It's just a back of the hand rule that I follow, but about 4 minutes aside. If you're looking for those beautiful grill marks, turn it in a 90-degree angle 2 minutes in, but usually 4 minutes aside will give you perfectly grilled proteins, but always cook to the final temperature for the USDA recommendation. So we're gonna get this on the big green egg. We're gonna let this go a couple of minutes. We'll turn them in a 90-degree angle to get those beautiful grill marks. Flip it, and then we'll get going with this beautiful dish. All right, for my dish, the mahi-mahi is gonna be topped with this charred scallion salsa. What I do is just take a bunch of scallions, a whole bunch, cover them in olive oil, salt and pepper. I'll take 2 green jalapenos and 2 Scotch bonnets, or some people call them habaneros, and some garlic, and I will grill them off so they have nice char marks over and build a deep charred flavor in those vegetables. I pull them off, I mince them up to about a 1/4 inch in size, and I mix that with fish sauce, with lime juice, with cilantro, and salt and pepper. This sauce is to die for. It goes great on fish, it goes great on steak, it goes great on pork. You're gonna eat this sauce all the time, and it's definitely going to be the sauce that beats Chef Peter, the meat mayor. Are you ready?
All right, for my challenge, I'm really gonna have to bring it. You know, I got home court advantage here at Smokey Bones, so I really, like I said, I'm gonna have to bring it. So I'm gonna select, I've got a beautiful ribeye here from Allen Brothers. You know, what I'm looking for when I pick out a steak at the grocery store or one of the warehouse clubs or something like that, I always tell my friends, family, just looking for a lot of marbling in there. So I'm looking for a lot of marbling, a lot of intermuscular fat, and that fat equals flavor, right? So when that goes on a grill, that'll start to melt out. So that's really kind of what I'm looking for. Got that nice spinalis muscle on the outside. That's that cap of the ribeye. Super, you know, super flavorful, super fatty and rich. And then obviously the eye of the ribeye. Great summertime grilling item. All right. And like I said, I'm gonna have to bring it, right? So I'm gonna do a little riff on a surf and turf. So I've got some nice shrimp here. I'm gonna rub those up with a little bit of our barbecue rub on there. I'm gonna smoke those, get those nice and charred up and smoky. And then I'm gonna make a nice fresh charred corn salsa. So I've got some fresh corn, I got some red onion, I got some peppers, a little bit of lime juice and things. I'm gonna toss that all together with some cilantro, a little bit of honey, salt, pepper. Super nice contrast, and it's actually gonna be a kind of a warm, cold salad, so a nice flavor contrast, nice temperature contrast, and something with a little bit of acid in it to cut through the richness of that steak. All right, so I've got the big green egg going here. I've got this set up to do, you know, high heat grilling. I took a little notes from Chris, a little tip, right? So burp that green egg so that it doesn't flare up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil on my steak, not too much. The one thing I always recommend, not a whole lot of oil on a steak. It's got all that intermuscular fat in there, that marbling, so it doesn't need a whole lot of oil once it goes on the grill. All right. Then I got a little dry rub here. And again, I always, you know, I'm using something that's got a little bit of dried Worcestershire powder in it, a little bit of sugar, some salt, pepper, and things. But season how, you know, what you like on there. One tip though, I always say this, I think the one thing that the griller at home and the home cook, I almost feel like on a steak that you can't season too much, right? Because you're really got a lot of internal meat on this that isn't going to be seasoned, so you want to season the outside of it. So then when you get a nice bite, you really only got about 1/4 of an inch on either side that's got all that heavy seasoning on it, right? And you got all that lean and that kind of unseasoned in there, so you want to go ahead and season, pretty heavily. So I'm just going to flip that steak over. I'm going to season it good on both sides. I had somebody once tell me, it's like, when you think you're done seasoning, keep going, right? Touch that with a little bit of oil again, and a little bit more of that dry rub. And then I'm just going to kind of rub that in there, and I'm going to go ahead and get it on this nice hot grill. Give it a nice little pat, little pressure on there. That makes all that contact for the meat have contact with the grill, and you get that nice sear. All right. Everybody's always asking, how do you get those nice grill marks on the steak? How do you get that nice diamond hatch mark? You got to have good contact on there. All right. So I'm going to let that go for a little bit. Some of the things that you're looking for when you get ready to move a steak or something on the grill. You'll see some telltale signs, right? A little bit of white smoke. You'll start to smell it, right? But I think one of the kind of things that you shouldn't do, don't move it around so much, kind of let it cook, okay? So I'm gonna let that go for a couple of minutes. And then for that salsa that I was talking about, I'm basically gonna char that corn up, season it with salt and pepper, a little bit of oil. I'm gonna char it up on there. And then everything else that's in there, just kind of leave it nice and fresh, okay? So we've got a little bit of roasted smoked flavor, a little bit of char, that nice rich fatty ribeye, and it's gonna be a good contrast with a kind of cold salsa and a nice fresh, bright, summery dish. All right, for our summer grilling season, I did a dry rubbed ribeye with a nice fresh summer corn smoked shrimp salsa. And I gilded the lily a little bit with a compound butter, a little garlic butter on top.
I went heavy with the surf, and I did grilled mahi fillets on the big green egg with a charred scallion salsa. And we want to know, which one are you going to grill?
To celebrate summer grilling season, we partnered up with Big Green Egg to do some grilling excellence.
And part of the sweepstakes prizes are Big Green Eggs, Smokey Bones meals. To find out everything that's involved, go to smokeybonesgiveaway.com and check it out.